It's time for Northwestern Outdoors Radio, the award-winning show that covers fishing, hunting, and all sorts of outdoor recreation here in the Great Northwest. Northwestern Outdoors is brought to you every week by Max Lure Company, a legacy of innovation since 1969, by Loophole Optics, America's optical authority, by Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors,
by Wallowa County.
Nature is on display in Northeast Oregon, and by The Real News, your fishing resource. Also by Shiloh Inns and Suites, providing you with affordable excellence. And by Mardon Resort, the place for fishing, hunting, and more in Eastern Washington. And now, it's time to head outside with your host, John Cruz.
Another winter weekend and another sportsman show. This week, we're at the Central Washington Sportsman Show at the Sun Dome in Yakima. I haven't been to this show for a while, but I've got to tell you, I'm having a great time. And there are some pretty big names here, too, like Scott and Tiffany Haugen, who are here on behalf of Cabela's, helping you learn how to butcher and prepare game for some delicious table fare. There's also a trout pond for the kids, some great deals being offered by Grumpy's Outdoor Store, a horn and antler competition being sponsored by Grumpy's as well, seminars to help you become a better angler or hunter, several clinics for fly anglers, and even a trailer backing competition that I guarantee you I would take last place in. Trust me, I'm the guy that jackknifes that trailer down the boat ramp every time. Come on down and check it out. Not my trailer backing skills, but the show. It's the Central Washington Sportsman Show going on through Sunday at the Sun Dome in Yakima. This week on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we are bringing you audio we recorded during the very well-attended Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show that took place a couple of weeks ago in Portland. We'll start things off by talking to guide Ted Teufel. He's the owner of ProFishGuide.com. He's going to tell you about fishing for steelhead and salmon around Tillamook, Oregon, one of the better spots to cast a line for these fish in the Northwest. We'll continue to talk fishing when we speak with guide Austin Mosier, who has been catching walleye this winter out of Potholes Reservoir during an extended max minute. And then we'll change horses and head towards a place just west of Great Falls, Montana, at the edge of the Bob Marshall Wilderness. That's where you'll find Sun Canyon Lodge, and Nikki Karlbaum is going to tell you about the fun horseback adventures you can have there this summer. Horseback riding always makes me hungry, so it's appropriate we bring famed Dutch oven cook and Camp Chef pro staffer C-Dub Welch back. He's going to tell you about an online course you can take to up your outdoor cooking skills. Sounds like something I need. We've got fishing and wildlife watching reports from Mardon Resort and from the Oregon-California border, courtesy of guide Steve Huber. We've got a fresh steelhead fishing report for you, too. After that, it's time to talk about some upcoming events. The first one is the Backcountry Hunter and Anglers Rendezvous, taking place in a couple of weeks in Spokane that looks to be quite the event. Executive Director Lan Tawney is going to be telling you about that and some of the great things this organization stands for. Speaking of great organizations, Cindy Carpenter heads up one called Youth Outdoors Unlimited that takes kids with disabilities and impairments hunting and fishing. Their annual fundraising banquet is taking place next week in Moses Lake. Throw in previews of sportsman shows taking place in 3 northwestern states, and as usual, we've got a really busy broadcast coming your way. But in keeping with our theme of bringing you audio and more from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show this week, David Sparks has a Sportsman Spotlight segment highlighting one of the biggest attractions of this show, the $1 million ammo sale.
Free 22s at the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show. David Sparks with Sportsman Spotlight. If you're a regular listener to Sportsman Spotlight, you may remember this from back in November. You're going to be hearing Chris Claunch, who owns Hagerman Valley Sports and Mercantile down in Hagerman, Idaho, who is also an avid hunter.
Guys went into Walmart and tried to buy 22 shells about 2 years ago, and Walmart was out. And it started a literal frenzy of buying. I saw the price of 22 shells for a brick online, which at the beginning of the frenzy started at about $14 for 500. And I saw that price go all the way up over $100. And it created a marketplace on the black market that was absolutely insane. So to proliferate the issue, the big box stores started putting limits on how much people could buy. And people began to actually hoard them and put them in the basement or the backyard or the shop or whatever. So there was a shortage of ammo, and that was real.
In fact, the types of 22s that are used in recreational shooting have been in short supply for years. And in terms of sporting goods stores, as soon as they stock the ammo, it is gone. It flies off the shelves. Well, there was some very good news as it relates to 22s recently. I understand that at least 15,000 gun owners got cheap shots at this year's Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show at the Portland Expo Center. Permits were issued on a first-come basis to show attendees. Oh, and not to forget, exhibitors were also issued the permits. This is David Sparks for Sportsman Spotlight. Pendleton, Oregon wheat farmer Paul Brocker was at a crossroads.
We were transitioning from old equipment that was worth very little, trying to upgrade it into newer combines. Suddenly figured out that we could not hardly afford to upgrade combines, so this option came out of renting, and the company we got matched up with was Machinery Link, and we've been renting ever since. Been customers since 2001. You set a specified start date, the machine shows up. Our contract is a 30-day contract. After the 30 days is over, or when you're done with harvest, the combine goes away. You specify a delivery date. For our operation, they have not missed those delivery dates. We don't have repair bills. We don't recognize the actual cash depreciation expense, which is a huge deal. We actually purchased the combine for 1 year, and we went back the next year. Worked out great for us.
Call 844-CROP-USA for a limited-time offer that can save you up to $3,200 on your 2015 combine rental, or visit machinerylink.com.
Pheasants Forever is working hard every day to ensure there's more wildlife habitat for the future. Join the Habitat Leader and help create wildlife habitat in your community. Go to pheasantsforever.org.
He said we're right on him. Without missing a beat, you'll drop your line down to 42 feet. If you don't screw up, it won't be long. Someone in this boat's gonna sing Fish On. Fish on, fish on. Do it by the boat, don't take too long. Set the hook, reel it in strong. Fish on, fish on.
You're back with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're broadcasting from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, and we're talking to a guide that fishes over by Tillamook Bay. We don't talk about this stretch enough, and we should, because there's some great fishing here. Well, this year, tell us more, Ted Teufel. He is the head guide of ProFishGuide.com. Ted, welcome to the show.
Hi, John. Thanks for having me. Just talking a little bit about Tillamook Bay and all the rivers that enter it. We have the Wilson, Trask, Kilchis, the Tillamook River.
And you got the Nehalem, the Nestucca, and of course, the Columbia River's not too far away either. Let's go ahead and talk about the seasons that you have here, and I guess we're going to start with winter. Winter steelhead right now. Where are people fishing for them?
Right now, we're mainly targeting steelhead on the Wilson and Nestucca for hatchery steelhead. Trask and Kilchis have a great run of wild steelhead, but if you want that chance at that big fish to take home, the Wilson and Nestucca are your best bets.
How long do these fisheries remain viable for the winter steelhead?
We've had a broodstock program going on the Wilson and Nestucca for a few years, and January through April is our peak season.
I'm looking at the photos at your booth here. Man, these are some chrome bright fish. What's the average size, and how do you get them in the boat?
So our average size of steelhead on the coast is probably 6 to 12 pounds. We do get quite a few over 15 and pushing 20. A lot of them are broodstock fish. We're able to take them home. My main technique is bobber, dog, and bait. I love to match the boat to the speed of the baits and drift down the water, cover a lot of water, and put that bait in front of as many fish as we can.
Let's go ahead and talk about this technique a little bit more. Are we basically talking about a slip float, and then you're fishing a certain depth, and you've got your bait shrimp below that?
Yeah, exactly. I'm running a slip bobber, and I actually chop my bobbers in half. It seems to help when we cast out, getting that line down to the bottom and in the strike zone faster. And I really like eggs and a little corky or a puff ball to give it a little flotation and just drifting it right down through the runs.
Now, are you using coon shrimp or are you using ghost shrimp or what?
Oregon coast, our area, we really like sand shrimp and cured eggs. I like boraxophyre or just straight borax on my eggs with maybe a little red dye. Seems to help really well.
Now, do you have lodging available too?
We do. I'm part owners in the Wilson River Lodge. We have private fishing access right off of Highway 6 in between mile marker 8 and 9. We have 3 rooms available for guests, and we can accommodate big groups too.
And I guess I need to ask, when it comes to fishing with you for these winter steelhead, are these drift boat trips?
Yes, all drift boat trips for the winter steelhead. I don't get back into my sled till April, till I come up here and chase springers and back down in Tillamook Bay with the springers.
And a question I have learned to ask when it comes to winter steelhead fishing and drift boats and guides. Propane heater, yes or no?
I carry one. I try not to use it because I worry about a line getting frayed. I've lost too many fish, and I feel it's from just a little extra heat on the line. So if you need it, it's there, but I try and keep it off.
All right, so bundle up, folks. Bundle up. Though there is heat if you really need it. Let's go ahead and move to the next season, Spring Chinook. When is that kicking off, and where are you going to be going to catch these fish?
So I start off Spring Chinook up here in Portland on the Columbia and Willamette, usually early April. I like to chase the steelhead when springers are first being caught up here because the pressure is so light down in the coast. Makes for a really great time, less pressure on the river, still nice big fresh steelhead coming in, and everyone's up here chasing those springers. I'll come up and fish this for a while, and then usually around May 1st, I'll really start targeting the Spring Chinook in Tillamook Bay and the Trask River.
Let's go ahead and talk about the fishery in Tillamook Bay when it comes to Spring Chinook, because everyone's so focused on the Columbia and the Willamette rivers that I don't think it gets all the attention it deserves. What's the drill? How do you get fish in the boat in Tillamook Bay come May and June?
I'm a herring fisherman, so I like fishing herring anywhere from the oyster house hole out to the jetty. It's really fun in the shallow water with those big tides. You're hooking a Spring Chinook, and we get some really good sized ones, 20 to 30 pounds. Seems to be a nice up size of them.
Are you using downriggers, or are you actually using like mooching weights?
We're just fishing lead right off the bottom, just like you would on the Columbia or Willamette. We're having a short dropper and fishing them right near the bottom. Tillamook Bay is fairly shallow unless you're out by the jetty, so we want those baits right near the bottom, right in front of their face.
So you're literally just anchoring up, dropping the bait down, putting the herring there, fluttering, and just waiting for the fish to come by?
I don't anchor. We're trolling. A lot of times the channels are fairly small. Guys get kind of ticked off if you're anchoring because you're kind of taking up the hole, and you'll get a better presentation with a very slow troll up through those channels, bringing it right past their face.
Got to ask you, if you use herring like up in Puget Sound, you're going to catch a lot more dogfish than salmon, it seems. Is that a problem in Tillamook Bay?
It's really not. The only problem we have in Tillamook Bay is with the crab. You want to keep it a little bit off the bottom or you will get some crab, but I really haven't caught a whole lot of dogfish there. Every once in a while you will. Last year we had a slight problem with seals actually taking your bait, but we're pretty lucky in that sense that herring does great. If you can't get them on the herring too, you can always throw out a spinner. I know a lot of guys really like to fish spinners, but sometimes I'll dye my herring to make them look like a spinner, so then you have the scent and the flash.
Well, there you go. Folks, you're listening to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. We're talking to Ted Teufel. He is the owner of ProFishGuide.com. He's also a part owner of the Wilson River Lodge. He will take you salmon fishing, he'll take you steelhead fishing, and more. And I guess we ought to talk about something else here. When you're out on Tillamook Bay, you mentioned crab. Do you offer combo trips where you can go salmon fishing and also throw out a crab pot and bring home some crab?
Yeah, if the tides are right, I love to send guys home with crab. That's just an added bonus at the end of the day.
And when it comes to Tillamook Bay, are we talking Dungeness, or are we talking rock crab, or are we talking a mix?
Dungeness are our crab.
Nothing wrong with that. As a matter of fact, I love Dungeness crab. So what's the limit on Dungeness crab?
It is 12 per person. They have to be over 5 3/4 inches and male.
And I'm going to ask you a question here. When it comes to the crabbing, you got those crabs, people got to take them home. What's your recommendation on how to get them from point A to point B so that they're still alive, or do you do something with them right away to take care of that?
I like to cook them right away. If we're fishing out of Garibaldi, I'll cook them right away. I'll help the guys clean them and put them on ice.
And that's probably a good way to go. Last time driving home from Newport, I put them on ice and did the whole thing with the wrappers and got most of them, but not all of them home. So I think your idea is a little more sound. Something else I want to talk about, your rates are not bad, my friend. You've got a full day for $200, includes bait, tackle, rods, and a lunch too?
Yeah, I found out a while ago, if I include a lunch for you guys, I get a much better one. My wife makes us a beautiful lunch and less for you to worry about when you're traveling.
One more thing we ought to talk about here. You got a couple of other fisheries coming up later in the year. Buoy 10, big fishery in Astoria, and sturgeon fishing as well. And sturgeon's almost like a year-round thing for you, isn't it?
It really is year-round. I used to do it more until they kind of shut down the retention of it. I still do have a few trips where guys like to go out and catch and release, and that's been a lot of fun. Just know that it's not a possibility to take one home, but you'll have a lot of rod bending action throughout the day. And
are you doing this in the Willamette, or are you actually doing this over by Tillamook Bay?
Mostly on the Willamette and Columbia. I used to do some on Tillamook Bay when we could keep it. We had a lot of keeper size down there, so that was kind of something fun to do.
All right, we are actually starting to run out of time, but before we go, we need to give out a website and a phone number so people can find out more and book a trip with you.
My website is www.profishguide.com, and my phone number is 503-803-2616. You can always call my wife, Jamie, at 503-812-2225.
What's the best number, you or your wife?
Probably my wife, since I'm out on the water most of the time. I do answer too, but I try and make it quick since I'm fishing and always want to get that next fish in the boat.
So the phone number to call to get a hold of the person who's going to answer right away is 503-812-2255. 503-812-2225. That's 503-812-2225, or go to profishguide.com. That's profishguide.com. If you want to fish Tillamook Bay or the tributaries around it, this is the guy to contact. Ted, thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thank you very much.
Fish on.
The Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show is celebrating 55 years of making life better outside. Life is an adventure, and it's better outdoors. It's fun for the whole family at the Spokane Fair and Expo Center, March 19th through the 22nd. With over 250 vendors, guides, and outfitters, there's so much to see and do, you won't want to miss it. There are even giveaways each day from Sportsman's Warehouse, Dave Smith, and the Elephant Boys. Visit bighornshow.com for more information.
Good hunters know before you take that shot, you've got to see the whole picture. Now, the best way to do that is with a spotting scope, binoculars, or a rifle scope, but it's got to be from Leupold. Now, Leupold is a Northwest company with a reputation that stretches across the world for making superior optics. Look for Leupold Optics at your local Cabela store, Dick's Sporting Goods, or online at leupold.com. Leupold, America's optical authority.
We're back with John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
It's time for another Max Minute.
Fish on!
Brought to you every week by Max Lure Company. With us here today is Max Pro Guide Austin Mosier. Austin, the Columbia River is not the only place to get into big walleye right now, is it?
No, it's not. We've been doing really well on the Potholes Reservoir. It's really starting to pick up over there, and I've been trolling bottom walkers and the new Max Lure Spindrift Walleye series. Those have been working really well for us, and I've been doing some sonic baitfish jigging as well, and it's been a great fishery, and it's starting to pick up over there.
It just didn't really slow down this year on Potholes Reservoir. In fact, in January, a kid fishing right off the dock at Mardon Resort reeled in a 16-pound walleye. I've had friends who have been fishing out there getting 12-pound walleye, and I know you've been catching some big ones too. Average size, so what, 3-4 pounds?
Yeah, we've been averaging 17 to 20-inch fish through the winter here, and we've been getting a lot of them in the 15 to 25 feet of water and on the weed beds and in the humps and sand dunes of the Crab Creek area.
So the Max Spindrift Walleye rig, this is brand new from Max Lure Company, but you're basically fishing it just like you would a double whammy or a Smile Blade slow death rig, behind them a bottom bouncer with some leader and tipping it with a night crawler?
Yes, it's a new hook that they've designed. VMC designed the hook. It's got a swivel on the top, and it's making it so that we don't have as many line twists, and it's a heavier duty hook. It'll hold a bigger fish, and it's a very sharp hook as well. It's working out very well for us.
Well, there you go, folks. That sounds pretty exciting. If you want to go fishing with Austin Mosier, go ahead and go to his website. It's Austin's Northwest Adventures LLC.com. That's Austin's Northwest Adventures LLC.com, or give him a call at 509-668-0298. That's 509-668-0298. And that wraps up this week's Max Minute.
That's the sound you hear when a fish hits the new sonic baitfish from Max Lure Company. This metal lure can be cast, trolled, or jigged and will catch just about anything that swims in the sea, the river, or the lake. The sonic baitfish has a unique vibration and flutter that can be rigged in 7 different ways. With all sorts of eye-catching colors and weights available, you'll be reaching for the sonic baitfish as your go-to lure. It's the sonic baitfish. Only from Max Lure Company.
It's Sportsman Show season, and 2 great ones are coming your way in Washington this year, courtesy of Schuler Productions. The Tri-City Sportsman Show kicks off the season, and the always popular Central Washington Sportsman Show returns to the Yakima Sundome February 20th through the 22nd. Both shows are going to have lots of guides, outfitters, and other exhibitors to include sporting goods dealers that are going to offer some great deals. There's also fun for the kids who can catch fish and more. Throw in seminars on fishing, hunting, and camp cooking, and a horn and antler competition at the Sundome, and you won't want to miss either show. It's the Tri-City Show, January 16th through the 18th, and the Central Washington Show, February 20th through the 22nd. We'll see you there.
Wetlands are some of the most important ecosystems on Earth.
but our wetlands are quickly disappearing. Find out how you can help. Join Ducks Unlimited today.
You're back with Northwestern Outdoors Radio. I'm John Cruz. We're broadcasting from the Pacific Northwest Sportsman Show in Portland, and we've run across a place I think you're going to want to hear about. It's Sun Canyon Lodge, located in western Montana. With us to tell us more about it is Nikki Karlbaum. Nikki, welcome to the show.
Thank you, John.
Nikki, let's start off with exactly where is your lodge located?
John, we are located in north central Montana, just straight west of Great Falls. We're on the east side of the Continental Divide, right in the heart of the Rocky Mountain front.
So tell me a little bit about Sun Canyon Lodge itself.
We're a rustic lodge. It's about 90 years old. Open to the public, beautiful scenery, limestone rock backgrounds, a big, beautiful canyon full of sun, obviously. We are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner at our lodge. We have a bar, restaurant, cafe, obviously, cabin rentals, campground. Nice place to bring your family for a day, a week, a month, even an hour.
So if people come to the lodge, what are they going to be doing there in terms of activities besides eating and drinking?
We have trail rides that go out daily. The typical ride's about an hour and a half to 2 hours. There's great fishing, about a 10-minute hike down the road, excellent hiking trails. If you have your own stock, feel free to bring them as well. There are numerous stockman's trails around and about the lodge. So.
Now, you're located right at the edge of the Bob Marshall Wilderness, and I understand that you take people on trips into that wilderness area, multi-day trips. Tell me a little bit about the most basic trip you offer there.
We do offer a trip into the Bob Marshall Wilderness. We go up along Gibson Reservoir Trail. We have a base camp that sits right along the North Fork of the Sun River. It's called Cabin Creek Camp. In that camp, it's a beautiful tent camp site. You can fish, hike, lots of trail riding. Beautiful place to go for the more adventuresome.
Okay, so you get to this tent camp. Go ahead and describe this some more. Are we talking about canvas wall tents? Are we talking about a wrangler's there with you cooking your meals? What exactly are we talking about here?
All right. Yes, in that base camp, you're going to find a very comfortable tent camp setting. We are in the wilderness, so there's nothing with a wheel allowed, nor anything with motors. So all of our wood's cut by hand. In that camp, there is a wrangler that takes care of the stock and helps get saddled and whatnot. A cook that'll prepare all your meals. Usually a guide, and then the guests. The campsite has a big mess tent where you'll enjoy your meals, 3 guest tents, a big corral for our stock. It's a very comfortable, nice setting. It is a tent camp, but it is comfortable.
So how far of a ride is it from the lodge to this base camp?
Well, the neat thing is in the summer we have Gibson Reservoir available to access. And so what we'll do is we'll take you up on a boat trip. It takes about 15 minutes to get up that 7-mile reservoir. Your horse, your pal for the week, is going to be standing there waiting for you. And you're going to go ahead and ride in about 2.5 hours on horseback.
Okay. And again, once you're there, there's fishing available in the creek?
There's fishing on the North Fork of the Sun River. We're catching rainbow and cutthroat trout. There are a few grayling in there. Going to be doing lots of hiking if you desire, sightseeing on horseback, or you can just sit back, relax, and enjoy the camp.
This sounds pretty cool. Now, I understand there's something in the Bob Marshall Wilderness called the China Wall. Tell me about that, and do you offer rides to go see that as well?
We do. That is option number 2 on our website, and we take many trips. Generally, the best trip is 6 or 7 days into the wilderness. It's a more nomadic style trip, meaning we're going to move campsites every day, and you're going to see a lot of great, beautiful country. But that Chinese Wall trip is for teenagers and folks that want to adventure out and see some great country.
So why don't you describe the wall for me?
The Chinese Wall is about a 15-mile long, 1,000-foot limestone rock formation.
Wow.
Also known as the Continental Divide. The east side is the rock, picturesque part, and the west side's a grassy, sloped hill.
One other thing I want to ask you about, this being a wilderness area, is there pretty good wildlife viewing?
Yes. Earlier is better, obviously, but yeah, you may see elk, deer, bear, definitely grouse. Along the Chinese Wall, it's not uncommon to see goats, moose, bighorn sheep.
Sounds fabulous. We're starting to run out of time, but before we go, let's go ahead and give folks a website and phone number so they can find out more about booking a stay at Sun Canyon Lodge and maybe a trip into the Bob Marshall Wilderness.
All right. Check us out at suncanyonlodge.com, and you can also reach us by phone at 406-562-3682. 3654.
Again, that's Sun Canyon Lodge. The website is suncanyonlodge.com. Located west of Great Falls at the edge of the Bob Marshall Wilderness, suncanyonlodge.com. And the phone number again, 406-562-3654. That's 406-562-3654 for Sun Canyon Lodge. Nikki, thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Hey, thank you, John, and have a great day.
Next up on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're talking to one of my favorite Dutch oven cooks, C-Dub Welch. You get to see him at a lot of the sportsman shows here in the Northwest, and he's coming out with something new that I think you're going to enjoy. It's called Powerless Cooking. C-Dub, tell me more about it.
Well, what Powerless Cooking is a series of online learning modules. We've been teaching Dutch oven cooking and doing clinics around the country for years, and some people don't have the time, some people don't have the money. These are online learning modules by subscription, and so instead of a $200 class, you can get this for a $9.95 subscription every month. All of these new things, and we started, John, with what we've always done, and that is Dutch oven cooking. On our Camp Chef products, we carry a wide variety of those. They're the centerpiece of our outdoor kitchen. Our camp stoves, our Dutch ovens, we use all of that, and as part of the Camp Chef philosophy to utilize what you have for your camping recreation for emergency preparedness. And that's kind of where we're going with this, but if you want to learn how to make mozzarella cheese in your kitchen, you can do that. If you want to learn to make sourdough bread in a Dutch oven, if you want to learn, my next one that I'm getting ready to film right now is making your own pastrami and homemade corned beef for St. Patty's Day, and when you make it yourself, you can make it cheaper and you eat healthier, and it's just better all the way around. Our motto is homemade feeds the family, and that's just kind of a broad spectrum of knowledge, skills, and techniques that let people do more for themselves.
C-Dub, this sounds fantastic. And again, I'm always hungry whenever I talk to you.
That's good. That's good.
So how do people get involved with this online subscription?
They go to powerlesscooking.com. You can get it by the month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months. Of course, the more you get, there's a price break. You get access to our recipe database, and we have a members-only store. So when you go in and you want to buy equipment that we're using in our modules, you're going to get it at a discount from if somebody just comes into the website to get that same Dutch oven or Camp Chef stove. You're going to get it for a reduced price.
Well, there you go, folks. Great reason to subscribe. The website again, powerlesscooking.com. That's powerlesscooking.com. It's going to take your cooking abilities to a whole new level. C-Dub, always a pleasure. Thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Not a problem. Looking forward to the next time.
Looking for the ultimate cooking machine for your backyard or patio? Look no further than Camp Chef's new pellet grill and smoker. With user-friendly features like an auto ignition, digital readouts, and internal meat temperature sensors, it's easy to smoke the tastiest salmon, ribs, brisket, and turkey you'll ever eat. And an innovative system makes cleanup a snap. Everyone will want the food you're cooking on your Camp Chef pellet grill and smoker. The quality smoker that's second to none. Find out more at campchef.com. Camp Chef, the way to cook outdoors.
It's Sportsman Show season, and always popular Central Washington Sportsman Show returns to the Yakima Sun Dome February 20th through the 22nd. We're going to have lots of guides, outfitters, and other exhibitors to include sporting goods dealers that are going to offer some great deals. There's also fun for the kids who can catch fish and more. Throw in seminars on fishing, hunting, and camp cooking, and a horn and antler competition at the Sun Dome. The Central Washington Show, February 20th through the 22nd. We'll see you there.
Shiloh Inn's Affordable Excellence. Welcome to Shiloh Inn's 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. I'm Mark Hemstreet, owner of Shiloh Inn's. I personally invite you to enjoy Shiloh Inn's deluxe smoke-free suites, then relax and enjoy our spacious pools and spas with steam and sauna rooms and fully equipped fitness centers. And Shiloh's 4-star treatment is even more affordable with more free amenities than most other hotel chains, like free high-speed internet to a free continental delicious breakfast or full hot breakfast at most Shiloh Inns. Even the kids stay free, and smoke-free Shiloh Inns are all dog-friendly. That's what we mean by 4-star accommodations at 2-star affordable prices. For reservations, call 1-800-222-2244 or visit our website at shilohinns.com. Shiloh Inns, affordable excellence. American family-owned and proud of it.
I'm gonna take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it. Gonna get up before the sun rise above us. Got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat.
Welcome back to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. It's time again for news and reports from the field, brought to you every week by Mardon Resort, located on the south end of 27,000-acre Potholes Reservoir in eastern Washington. Duck and goose hunting season might be over, but it's a great time to go bird watching, not just for waterfowl, but also for sandhill cranes. That's right. They are coming back on their annual migration. In fact, a whole bunch of them were seen recently at a field near the intersection of Highway 262 and Frenchman Hills Road. They are really beautiful birds to watch, and the bird watching there is going to continue. If you go, don't just bring your binoculars, but bring your fishing pole too, because the walleye fishing has been great at Potholes Reservoir. Serious anglers are using blade baits at this time of year. They're catching up to 30 to 50 walleye per boat. A lot of these are pre-spawn male walleye, so they're not the huge ones, but if you're after eater fish, it's a great time to go. You can find out more by going to mardonresort.com. That's mardonresort.com, where the fish bite, but we don't. For our next field report, we are heading down to the border of Oregon and California. That's where Steve Huber operates. He's a guide, and he will guide you, well, now through April for winter steelhead. Steve, what rivers are you fishing down there?
Right now I'm down on the Trinity, fishing all the way over to the Eel, Mad, and up to the Smith and the Chetco. So we're covering all the North Coast, Southern Oregon rivers right now.
There's been a lot of rain, and I know that's made things tough, but once the rivers drop, which rivers do you expect to fish well for winter steelhead?
The Smith should get another batch of steelhead pushing up through it. It looks like that will start fishing towards the end of the week here, and Trinity should have another batch of winter steelhead moving up through the Klamath. So we're going to fish well all the way through the end of March there.
What about the Chetco?
The Chetco is going to get a batch too. It's going to take a couple more days for that one to drop into place, but I expect that one to be a player in the game too.
So for folks heading down there to fish, obviously they probably ought to book a trip with you, but if they insist on doing it themselves, what tactic do you suggest they use to try to get fish on the bank or in the boat?
Well, the plunkers are going to have a real good shot at it first thing right off the bat here, and so just watch those rain gauges, see what the river's doing, get a prediction where it's going to be safe for you to do it. Definitely plunking right off the bat first, and then after that, boats are going to get them side drifting, small pieces of row or back trolling some plugs.
And are those the two methods you use, is basically back trolling plugs and side drifting row?
Yeah, absolutely, and don't forget the bobbers in there too. So, the bobber fishing, right up against those banks and those areas, those steelhead are definitely going to be holding against the banks with all that water that's come down over the last week.
What's the average size steelhead in this area?
The average size steelhead runs from anywhere from the 6 to 10 pound range. We're going to see a couple of the big boys in the 12 to 15 pound range, but anywhere from that 6 to 8 pounds is pretty standard all the way across the board.
And do you expect this fishery to hold up into mid-April?
Some of the most of it's going to close the end of March, so there are going to be just a few rivers with some in April. No, you're safe through the end of March here.
Well, and then it's time for springers anyway, isn't it?
Absolutely. We'll switch right back over to the Rogue and start looking for those springers to come up.
All right, Steve, let's give folks a website and a phone number so they can find out more about booking a trip for you, either for winter steelhead or for springers on the Rogue.
Sure, you can reach me toll free, 866-531-FISH, or check us out on the web at stevehubersguideservice.com.
That's stevehuberguideservice.com. Again, stevehuberguideservice.com, or 1-866-531-FISH. That's 1-866-531-FISH. Steve, thanks for the field report. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Next on Northwestern Outdoors Radio, we're switching gears from the Sportsman Show. We want to tell you about a really big event coming up in Spokane, Washington in a couple weeks. We're talking to Lan Tawney. He's the executive director of the Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. And I understand that you've got a national meeting called a Rendezvous that's coming up in Spokane.
Yeah, thanks, John. We've got a rendezvous coming up March 6th through 8th in Spokane, Washington at the Red Lion. Anybody can attend, and, it's for our organization that, we're Backcountry Hunters and Anglers. We're formed around a campfire in Oregon to be the voice for our wild public lands, waters, and wildlife.
So what's going to be taking place at this conference that might be of interest to our listeners?
I think if you've never heard of Backcountry Hunters and Anglers, a great kind of first event on Friday night. It's our Backcountry Brew Fest. It's $10 in advance tickets or $15 at the door. We'll have 10 breweries as well as a ton of raffles for gear. Randy Newberg, host of Fresh Tracks on the Sportsman's Channel, will be on hand so you can get to talk to him. But it should be just a great night. It's on the top floor of the Red Lion, and you'll be able to see like 360 views of the city.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. And folks, this Red Lion is located downtown, right by the river. A great location for a conference like this. Now, I understand on Saturday, you've got a whole bunch of seminars that people might be interested in attending. What are some of those?
Yeah, I think, there's a real practical stuff. One of them is just a backcountry taxidermy. What to do with your animal once you get it down to make sure if you want to mount that animal that you don't screw anything up. So that's one. There's some backcountry videography, backcountry photography. One that I'm really excited about is this archaeology and the hunt. It's about a guy that found a 5,000-year-old man up in British Columbia that was frozen and perfectly preserved. And so he was a hunter, and you get to see pictures that nobody else has seen before.
Did you say a 5,000-year-old man?
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Wow. Okay, that sounds incredible.
There's like a spear with them. I mean, it's a great thing.
Oh, okay. You definitely have my interest. What else is going on at the conference?
We've got our banquet that evening, and Randy Newberg will be the speaker. He'll give us about a 20-minute talk, and then we'll get into our raffles, which, again, we've got over $40,000 worth of gear, and then into our live auction. Live auction has some hunting trips, some fishing trips, and a bunch of other great stuff. One of the great packages that we have is from Leupold, and it's a $2,500 package. So it's a scope, a spotting scope, and a rangefinder.
Wow. And folks, Leupold, they're a sponsor of this show, and I got to tell you, they are a great supporter of conservation organizations, so nice to hear they're supporting you as well. And again, I guess I need to point out, anybody can attend this. How do they get tickets? How do they go ahead and get involved?
Yep, you can go ahead and just go to backcountryhunters.org, and you can buy tickets there, or you can come and buy those tickets at the door for the Brew Fest. There will be $5 more that night on Friday night, or you can go ahead and show up on Saturday. Yeah, we'll get you taken care of.
All right, that's backcountryhunters.org, and I'll tell you what, Land, you've got me sold. I'm going to be there. This sounds like a fantastic event. One other thing I want to talk about, since we've got a spare minute here, is your organization is a young organization, but you've been making a lot of noise with rallies in Boise and Helena. What have those been all about?
Well, we focused on public lands. We feel like public lands are a place where a man and woman of any means can, hunt and fish. We can all live like kings. And so there's some folks right now that want to sell our public lands to kind of pay off our national debt. And we think that is a very short-sighted thing. And so we've been holding these rallies in New Mexico, in Idaho, and in Montana. And hundreds of sportsmen are showing up and voicing their opinion on why they think this is a bad idea.
It sounds like a great idea. This sounds like a great organization. And folks, the Rendezvous sounds like a great event. Again, it's happening March 6th through the 8th at the Red Lion on the river in Spokane. Find out more by going to backcountryhunters.org. That's backcountryhunters.org. Make plans to attend, and I'll see you there. Land, thanks for telling us all about it on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
Thanks, John. We'll see you there.
Rise above us, got a bamboo pole and a leaky boat. It ain't much, but if you bail, it'll float. I'm gonna take you fishing, honey. You're gonna love it.
Wake up to winter in Wallowa County. Grab your camera and don your skis for some Nordic skiing adventure at Salt Creek Summit or Wallowa Lake. Or spend the day on the family-friendly slopes of Fergie Ridge. Or slip into a set of skates and enjoy some time on the ice at our outdoor ice rink. Need to warm up? Then grab a cup of coffee or hot chocolate at one of our fine coffee and confectionery shops. And when evening comes, enjoy some of Wallowa County's fine dining and gaze at the stars before you dream of tomorrow's adventures. Your winter adventure begins at www.wallawacountychamber.com.
If you've ever been fishing in Mexico, you know how good it can be, and now you can fish there with the Real News. Take your choice of a trip to Baja's East Cape for roosterfish, marlin, and dorado. These trips are value priced, so you can stretch your dollars in fun. To find out more about fishing Mexico with the Real News, log on to therealnews.com or call 425-334-8966. Again, that's therealnews.com or 425-334-8966. For an incredible adventure.
You demand quality performance from your binoculars, whether you use them in the field, on the water, or at a stadium. But you don't want to spend a fortune. That's where the BX Mackenzie binoculars from Leupold come in. These armored, waterproof binoculars are both comfortable and dependable. Look for your Mackenzie binoculars at quality sporting goods retailers near you, to include your Cabela's, Sportsman's Warehouse, or Northwest Bodmart stores. BX Mackenzie, bringing your world into sharper focus, only from Leupold.
Psst, yeah, you, the guide, outfitter, or outdoors business owner who's listening to Northwestern Outdoors Radio. Have you ever thought of becoming a sponsor of our show? We've got local sponsor opportunities at all 50 of the stations that carry Northwestern Outdoors every week, and we've got some network opportunities too. If the outdoors is your business, we can help you with your advertising needs. Contact me, John Cruz, through our website at northwesternoutdoors.com. That's northwesternoutdoors.com, helping you get the word out about your outdoors company.
Sneaker waves are huge swells that come out of nowhere. Keep an eye on the ocean. Respect the beach.
We're back with one last cast from John Cruz on Northwestern Outdoors Radio.
It's time for upcoming events. We got a real special one to tell you about. It's for Youth Outdoors Unlimited. Their annual auction is coming up in Moses Lake. With us here to tell us more is Cindy Carpenter. Cindy, welcome back to the show. What's going to be happening?
Well, John, we've got our 5th annual fundraiser coming up in Moses Lake again at the Best Western Lakefront Inn. It's Saturday, February 28th. It's obviously always a sold-out event. We're excited to present our 2014 hunters and anglers and their trophies that they're going to get from their taxidermists, as well as what's in store for a really exciting 2015 with Youth Outdoors.
And I guess we need to tell some of our listeners exactly what your organization does and why you need the money from this auction.
Well, Youth Outdoors was founded in 2011, and we take kids diagnosed with a life-threatening illness and physical disabilities on free hunting and fishing trips. So without the fundraising that we have, we can't provide these free of charge to these families. So we definitely encourage people to come, help support this nonprofit group. It's 501c3, so we're tax deductible, and we'd like to see everybody there.
How many kids did you take hunting last year?
We did 2 bear hunts, we did 2 fishing trips last year, and we did 4 disabled youth hunts in the fall.
And something else about this, the kids that go on these trips, they're not all from Central Washington. They're from all over the Northwest, aren't they?
They are from all over. We've got actually, here in 2015, we're taking a kid on a black bear hunt in the Quinault from Canby, Oregon.
All right, so again, let's direct people to a website so they can find out more about this banquet, this auction, this raffle that's going to go ahead and generate money so you can keep doing the great work you're doing.
So our website is www.youthoutdoors and the letter u.org. They can also get a hold of us through the Moses Lake Chamber of Commerce in Moses Lake. And of course, my phone number is 509-431-1604. And we're also looking for donations if anybody wants to donate items for our fundraiser.
Very worthy cause, folks. They're also on Facebook, too, at Youth Outdoors Unlimited WA. And again, their website, probably the best way to get a hold of them and find out more, is youthoutdoorsu.org. That's youthoutdoorsu.org for Youth Outdoors Unlimited, doing some great work for some special kids here in the Northwest. Cindy, keep it up, and thanks for telling us about it.
Thanks, John, for talking to me again.
In other upcoming events, Sportsman Show season rolls on. The Great Rocky Sports Show drops into the Lewis and Clark County Fairgrounds in Helena this coming week from Friday the 27th through Sunday the 1st. You can find out more about what's going to be going on there at GreatRockyShow.com. The week after that, the Central Oregon Show goes off at the Deschutes County Fairgrounds in Redmond from Thursday the 5th through Sunday the 8th. This is a really good show with lots of outfitters, a very good selection of boats, and if you're looking for an RV, this is definitely the show to go to because there are acres and acres of RVs from multiple dealers on display here. In fact, we're going to bring Joe Brennan back from O'Loughlin Trade Shows next week onto the show to tell you more about the Central Oregon Sportsman Show. And one of my favorite shows of all is the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show. It takes place every March, and this is the 55th annual production of the Bighorn Outdoor Adventure Show. This year, it's taking place at the Interstate Fairgrounds in Spokane from Thursday, March 19th through the 22nd. It's another big show. We're going to be part of it again, and we can't wait to see you there. We are running short on time, but if you get a chance, like us and follow us on our Facebook page, Northwestern Outdoors Radio. We're always adding photos and information that we just can't bring you on the show. We've got a website, too, That's northwesternoutdoors.com. If you go there, you'll find links to find out more about our guests. And in case you missed part of the show, you can always listen to last week's broadcast anytime you want right there. Another place to catch us on the web is at RenoViolaOutdoors.com. That's the home of WRVO Radio, an internet radio station dedicated just to outdoors programming. We are part of the 30-plus show lineup you're going to find there. You can go ahead and tune us in a couple of days a week and tune in lots of other great outdoors radio shows too. The website again, RenoViolaOutdoors.com. That's all for this week. It's been a mild winter in much of the Northwest, and spring is already beckoning. So, until next time, take care, God bless, and make it a point to spend some time outdoors.